I'd like to call to order this meeting of the Maine Township Board. And I'd like to ask everyone to rise because I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
thank you. Never roll call.
Assessor Fry. Here. Highway Commissioner Bouvet. Clerk Giovanni is here. Supervisor Diamond.
Here.
Trustee Jones.
Here.
Trustee Horvath.
Trustee Horvath notified me that she is ill this evening and will not be able to attend.
Okay. Trustee Maher. Here. Trustee Wood.
He also notified me that he's ill and unable to attend.
Keep your germs at home.
Yeah.
All right. So, okay, let's start. May I have a motion to approve the minutes of March 22nd, 2022 bill pay review?
Motion to approve the minutes of March 22nd, 2022 bill pay review.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, any questions or comments? Hearing none, may I have a roll call?
Supervisor Diamond.
Yes?
Trustee Jones.
Yes.
Trustee Maher.
Yes.
All right, that passes. Next item, may I have a motion to approve the minutes of March 22nd, 2022, the board meeting?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of the March 22nd, 2022 board meeting.
Second.
Any questions or comments? May I have a roll call?
Supervisor Diamond.
Yes.
Trustee Jones.
Yes.
Trustee Maher.
Yes.
Okay, may I have a motion to approve the minutes of March 22nd, 2022, general town fund and general assistance budget hearing?
Motion to approve the minutes of the Maine Township General Town Fund and General Assistance Budget Hearing, March 22nd, 2022.
I'll second the motion.
Any questions or comments? And may I have a roll call?
Supervisor Diamond.
Yes.
Trustee Jones.
Yes.
Trustee Maher.
Yes.
Okay. Next, may I have a motion to approve the general assistance expenditures?
I didn't get a piece of paper that said from the checks, the check numbers. Here, I can do it here.
Yeah, you said.
Sorry about that, Alicia. Okay, motion to approve payroll for pay dates of April 1st, 2022, and April 15th, 2022, and general assistance checks number 54025 through check number 54085 in the amount of $51,022.44.
I'll second the motion.
Okay. Any questions or comments? Then may I have a roll call?
Supervisor Diamond.
Yes.
Trustee Jones.
Yes.
Trustee Maher.
Yes.
All right. May I have a motion to approve the road district expenditures?
Motion to approve payroll for pay dates of April 1st, 2022 and April 15th, 2022, and road districts checks number 22337 through check number 22368 in the amount of $75,463.43.
I'll second the motion.
Any questions or comments? And may I have a roll call?
Supervisor Diamond.
Yes?
Trustee Jones.
Yes.
Trustee Maher.
Yes.
Okay. May I have a motion to approve the general town fund expenditures?
Motion to approve payroll for pay dates of April 1st, 2022 and April 15th, 2022, and general town fund checks number 59375 through check number 59433 in the amount of $273,387.02.
I'll second the motion.
All right. Any questions or comments? And may I have a roll call?
Supervisor Diamond.
Yes.
Trustee Jones.
Yes.
Trustee Maher.
Yes.
Okay. All right, fine. So now we are at that point in our meeting where we have public participation, and we have one request. Mr. John Bennett, if you want to move up to the microphone, you can do that. And as you know, we have a 5-minute limit for public participation.
Perfect. Good morning, or good evening, everyone.
Hey, John.
It's good to see you all once again. So I noticed on the agenda today that there was going to be discussion and possible vote on the OEM director position. And it's encouraging to hear that you guys got some qualified candidates, multiple candidates that you're going to be looking at. The one question or the one comment I had was that there was nothing in the board packet that was posted online that showed anything about the individuals or qualifications or anything like that. I don't know if that's not supposed to be public information or not. I know that when I was made interim director, my information was posted. Dagmar's information was also posted. So I don't know if it's just the board got the information and the public didn't, or what the status of that was. It'd really be nice to see who the candidates are and what their qualifications are. As you can tell in the previous meetings I've been up here to talk, I think it's very important to get the right person in that OEM director position. I mean, I think Mike's a great guy, he'd step up, but, even he recognized he didn't have those quals that he needed. So I'm just wondering what the status of the information on the individual candidates are.
Right, we don't always put the information in the public packet, depends on when we get it sometimes. And the information for tonight's candidate, who you will probably get to meet later, or hear from later, was distributed by email at the last minute.
Okay, so it's just the board gets it, not the public.
Well, it depends on when it comes out, right. So, but if you want to remain for the rest of the meeting, I think you'll be able to meet the candidate that we're recommending.
All right, great. Well, thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, John.
All right, next we have a presentation by Catherine Zabara. Catherine, you have a presentation, and are you putting it on the screen or just?
I didn't know we were doing the screen, so
Okay.
I just have handouts.
Okay, all right.
Yep.
Thank you. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. So my name is Catherine Sabara. I'm with National Group Health Alliance, and I've been fortunate to have the opportunity to be able to work with Maine Township for the last 11 years. It's been a pleasure working with you. I've enjoyed every minute of it, and I thank you for your continued support. So every year we fully market the case. We hope that we will have everything in and completed, and it usually comes in the last moment that we're able to wrap it up, because the renewal really doesn't even come out till the 3rd week of April. So this year everything worked out pretty well, even though it was in the last hours of today. I was able to get back to Blue Cross for rate reduction, so I'm hoping everybody is happy of where everything has ended up. The first page is just explaining that the marketing rates are for June for United Healthcare. United Healthcare did get back to us with firm rate offer, but it wasn't for July, it's for June because they weren't available for July yet. So that just means that June rates would be a little bit more. The rate relief, like I said, has been already given by Blue Cross, and they were pretty generous, I think, with the rate relief that they did provide us. Seems as our claims are pretty high. Our active claims, they don't usually give us claims history information on a group this size, but sometimes on the renewal, if the claims history is not very good, they'll let us know why they're giving us the kind of renewal that they are. So the claims actually that are active at this time are over 500,000. So I think that's important to keep in mind as we review the presentation, because those active claims are what also, in the beginning, what we thought was going to be a savings with United Healthcare really took away all that savings once they underwrote the group. I don't have a firm rate yet back from Humana. I expect them to decline the case, to be honest, but Humana I don't think is a carrier that you'd be very happy with. Honestly, I write municipality and private sector employers for the last 20 years, and I have pretty much moved all my groups away from Humana because service is really bad and I haven't really had many people happy there, so it's not a carrier I would recommend. Principal came back to us and they had originally wanted to give us an increase of 5% on the dental. And then they actually did not increase any of the other benefits that we have with them, the employer paid life, the voluntary life, they didn't give us an increase on that. They gave us a pass to begin with, so I went back and asked them for rate relief, and they did cut it in half, so we ended up with a 2.5% increase on the dental, so they did reduce it for us. We were able to get not only a rate pass on the vision, I asked for a rate pass and I asked if they would give us a 4-year rate guarantee, so we don't have, not only did they not increase the rates, they gave us a rate pass for the vision, they also guaranteed us no increase, no change in rates until 2026, so I was pretty happy with that. So on the third page, I'm kind of just doing a recap of what you're going to see on the spreadsheets. Blue Cross Blue Shield, the current premium for the plans we have in place, which are 2 plans. We have an HMO and we have a PPO. The Blue Cross current annual premium is $807,605.64. The renewal that they originally delivered to us was 9.83%, but they did take that down to a 4.65% increase, which I'm pretty happy with. I have to see if you guys are happy with it, but so that brings, it's quite a significant difference to that rate increase. So the rate would be $145,148.24 would be the annual premium for the way the employees are enrolled at this time in the 2 plans.
So Catherine, that means the rate, $845,000 includes the 4.65%.
Yes, it does, sorry.
There's not an additional 4.65% on top of that.
Yeah, so, yes, so sorry for that confusion, but correct. So that little notation to the side means that we ended up at a 4.65% increase, which brings our total annually to $845,148.24. Often I'm asked to compare what would it look like if we were not in a grandfathered plan. And we got closest as we could to the benefits that we're providing the employees right now in that plan. And with the enrollment in the HMO and instead of the grandfather plan in the closest like plan design, which I cannot get exact benefits, but that would actually be a little bit higher increase to move to that plan. So that would increase the annual premium by 4.94% instead of 4.65%. So I think it makes sense to keep everybody where they're at and not cause disruption. That would be my recommendation. The reason why that plan is a little bit more is because of really the preventative benefit is a little bit different. And so preventative is covered differently on the plans that came after the grandfathering. Humana's closest plan matches look like they might save us 14.20%, but like I said, I really expect them to come back and decline the case, because when you think about it, if we have 516,000 in active claim history right now, these aren't things that are one and done. These are things that they expect to continue to be active in claims. Blue Cross, that's why they gave us that information. Humana's coming in at 692, 912.28. I do not expect them to even offer, give the group an offer. But I can certainly follow up with you on that. United Healthcare, like I said, they ended up coming in at $811,992.12, which pretty much keeps it flat from what you're paying now. There are differences in the benefits. I can't get an exact match. And those are June rates, and usually the increase is about anywhere from 2 to 3% per month. As we go through the months, the rates get higher. So it wouldn't be a flat when we got to June. One other thing I want to mention is that if we were to go to another carrier, all those who work 30 hours or more would only be eligible for coverage. So there wouldn't be any eligibility for coverage for anyone who works under 30 hours. And obviously, the grandfather status could continue for 2022. And the next page, I included the Blue Cross Blue Shield revised rate relief that we received today. That shows you that 4.65% and also shows you the current rates and the renewal rates that I used for the spreadsheet presentation. And behind that is the original Blue Cross renewal page that we received with the 9.83% increase. And you'll see, actually on both of those, the active claims are listed down below. There's 5 active claim.
Catherine, I think I should have lost where you're at. Are you on the first page?
So the first page-
Current health plans?
Yeah,
Not on the second page looks identical, but
it's just a revised rate. So if you look at the bottom of that one that looks almost identical to it, it is, except for they changed the rates to only a 4.65% increase. So the only thing different on that second page that looks very much like the first is going to be the box in the middle of the page because they reduced the rates more, and the very last box on there where it says health renewal premium change components.
okay. All right.
So then the first spreadsheet is Blue Cross Blue Shield, and the last 2 columns are United Healthcare, and that first spreadsheet is going to come after those 2 renewal pages from Blue Cross Blue Shield, so it's right after the one that is the 4% increase. And the first column is our current HMO plan, the second column is our current PPO plan, the grandfathered plan, and then the third plan is the one that I described in the recap as the closest one that I could match if you were not to grandfather your plan, which would again be a 4.9%, 94%, sorry, increase instead of the 4.65% increase if you did not grandfather. The things that you see highlighted in yellow means it's a lesser benefit than the employees are getting now. And the things that you see highlighted in green are an increase in a benefit. So I just did that to make it easier to glance at and see. And then you could see the 2 columns with the United Healthcare that I tried to get closest to the coverages, the HMO, and their PPO with the core network. So you can see there's a lot of things that would have to change. There's a lot of yellow highlight on this page, especially with Humana and United Healthcare plans, but even with the non-grandfathered PPO. Does anyone have questions on that page?
So, the grandfather and the rate without the grandfather is basically a little bit more.
Right.
Am I correct?
The grandfather plan is less
Then, yeah.
than if you did not grandfather. That's correct. And that's because of the wellness benefit that's included in the new ACA plans rather than the way the benefits were before all that happened.
So that's why the non-grandfather claim,
Is a little more.
because there's wellness benefits are included in.
Well, wellness benefits are included in both, but your current plan, you pay a $10 copay, okay, and then the rest of the visit is covered. However, there's a list of recommended testing by the Medical Association, and if you're 35 and you're a woman, you're eligible for a mammogram, okay, that's covered at 100%. But like a colonoscopy for a 50-year-old, they're usually recommended at 50 and up, as long as it's just a part of a wellness and not turning into a diagnostic because something happens while you're in there. But that kind of stuff is really what's different, and that's where it really costs more in the new plans for the insurers to pay out, because colonoscopies in the current plan, you actually have to pay for towards your deductible. Those rules weren't in play back then. So that's not an advantage, but the rest of the components in the grandfather plan, I think your people appreciate and would rather stay with that than change. But that's why it's a little bit more to not have the grandfather plan.
And I see that you didn't put a column for the HMO in the non-grandfather.
I'm just using the same HMO, the current HMO. But down at the bottom, what I did was I took the calculation from the HMO column from renewal, and I combined it with the non-grandfathered plan instead of taking the grandfathered plan renewal amount.
For the HMO.
Yeah, so the first column underneath, in the very first column at the bottom, that's combining your grandfathered plan and your HMO renewal rates and current rates. And then the next column over from it at the very bottom is comparing the HMO renewal rates with if you were to go with the non-grandfathered plan instead of the grandfathered.
Okay, so that would be, you do the combined premiums at the bottom.
Correct.
Okay, gotcha.
Any other questions before Stu moves on?
I have a question. On which plan did you say that there would be no coverage for anyone who works less than 30 hours a week?
All plans. So I'm sorry, if we move to another carrier, that would be applicable.
I see. Currently, that doesn't apply to our people?
Right, if we stay with Blue Cross Blue Shield, we can make plan changes and that would not be applicable. But if
We don't do that, Jen. It's either you're full-time or you're 20 hours.
Well, the trustees could elect, right? We're not full-time, and we could, if we want to, it's my understanding, right?
currently, I believe you're correct.
Grandfather
according to
plan.
the-
Right, so. Also, it looks like 31 of our people are PPOs, not HMOs, is that right?
That's right, we only have 2 people enrolled in the HMO right now. One
Okay.
is employee child and one's employee spouse. Everybody else, and that's pretty much, I mean, I've been with you guys for 11 years, that's pretty much how it's been.
Right.
Most people are in the PPO.
Okay, most people prefer PPO. Okay,
Right.
and the deadline for people to decide this is, I'm not sure if you know.
Well, that's gonna depend. I was hoping that you'd be able to, with the information I was able to wrap up and bring today, that you guys could make a decision, but if that's not possible, so usually, before the last couple of years, we used to do our open enrollment in May, so if there's a decision made tonight, we'll be able to do our open enrollment in May. If for whatever reason there's not, then we'll do our open enrollment in June for July.
All right, thanks. So that's, yeah, I'm glad I asked that. So it's usually at the end of the year, but not in this case. The employees of the township will be deciding these things in May or June, not.
Correct, because our renewal's June, so
Okay.
while the calendar year for deductible and out-of-pocket accumulation always runs January to December,
Okay.
our renewal, open enrollment, is always a month before the renewal effective date.
Okay.
So that's when employees can either change their enrollment, add dependents, come on the plan if they were previously eligible but waived. That's the only time they can do that unless they have a life-changing event that makes them eligible, like a marriage or a birth or
Okay.
loss of coverage somewhere else.
Okay. And I don't know if you know this. What percentage approximately does an employee pay of their salary for this? If you know. I don't know if you know that.
5%,
5% of the total.
that's correct.
Okay. And it doesn't matter if they're full-time or part-time or?
That you have to work 30 hours, so they have to be full-time. Yeah. And then elected officials that
It would be higher.
are not, I'm sorry?
Go ahead.
Yeah, elected officials pay 10%.
No, we pay 30%. there.
Yeah,
5%.
we do by.
No, we don't.
Well, we pay 10, but
Yeah,
then
we
we
pay
supplement it back, you're right.
We pay 10, they pay 10, yes.
I thought it was a lot more than that. I thought it was like almost 80% or something.
Uh,
All right, thanks.
10 plus 25, good.
Okay, thanks.
Okay,
All right,
and
thank you.
Catherine, there's no other
10 plus
negotiation
25?
involved? Can we get this even down a little bit lower, do you think, in the interim?
I think they gave me their best shot. They knew I was coming to the board meeting tonight, and I told them I'd really like to try to not go into, finalizing with another carrier, so give me the best they could, and I think they gave us what they're gonna give us, as far as Blue Cross coming down.
Well, going up, actually, but whatever.
Well, coming down from their original, was 10%.
Get them.
Yeah, yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you.
of course. Of course. So, there's a couple more things. Well, I told you about the dental. I just included the marketing in case you wanted to see it. It's in here for the dental and the vision and the life.
Well, Catherine, wasn't it last year that we saw a pretty good reduction because we had a good year, correct? Which was,
Yes.
weren't we all surprised by that it
Yeah.
came down as much as it did?
Yes, so let me just say one more thing about that. So thank you for bringing that up, Pete. I did include a rate history in here, and the only one I don't have in there is today, just because we literally just got it. But there is a page in here that, for all of the years that I've been serving as your representative, this 11 years of history here, which honestly, if you go over the 11 years, even in times where we had really high claims experience, there was one year, 2016, where we got a 24.09% increase. And at that time, you had 342,384 active large claims. And we were able to bring that down to 21.66. But, I bring that up because there's another year increase with large claims experience. They gave us 6.34, and that was 2018. In 2019, same thing. We originally got delivered almost a 10% increase with large active claims, and they brought it down to 6.85%. And the reason why that is so important to really know and focus on is because we go to another carrier, it's not for sure, very much not likely, because I've been doing this 20 years, that they're going to be that good to us. They want to keep you. You've been with them for a very, very long time. So, the fact that we have even higher claims now than we did in 2016, when they gave us a 24% increase, and they came down to what they did, that's pretty real much taking a stand that they want to keep you as a client. If we were to move, let's say we were to move for a couple percent, that maybe we can move to United Healthcare, but with a lot of plan differences, we don't know what's going to come the next year. If they're being that aggressive to get our account this year, it's likely that they're going to smack us next year. So, and then you create this 12-month Band-Aid process where every 12 months we have to look for the carrier that's being the most aggressive and cause all this disruption to changing providers and everything that, the employees are experiencing. So that's why I include the rate history, because I think it's really important to see and to remember how Blue Cross has treated her.
Anything else you want to cover during your presentation?
No, just any questions, if anyone has any other questions.
Do any board members have any questions about it? Thank you. I wanted to ask Rupa, have we gotten any complaints or comments from employees regarding the healthcare coverage? Since you've been here, do you recall any complaints or coverage about it?
No. Actually, all I hear is good or positive feedback about the health insurance that we currently have.
Okay, all right. So if the board members are prepared to vote tonight, I would ask for a motion. Okay, we don't actually have it up for a vote tonight. We just have it listed as for presentation this evening.
Okay.
So we will need to vote on it officially at our next meeting. It might be a good idea for our members to have a little time to look at it, because they just got it right now, and two of our members are not here tonight either.
Sure, I understand.
So I think that's what we will do. I don't know if it would be necessary for you to come next time, but we can talk about that in the interim.
Sure, I don't mind if you want me to come for the members that aren't here that may have questions, that's fine.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much.
Okay,
then.
thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone.
All right. Okay, let's go on to our next matter, which is the community solar update and possible renewal vote. So as you may recall, in January, we voted on a program whereby we would work with a couple of solar providers to allow them to contact Maine Township residents and also use our logo. We did, on the advice of council, put a limit on the period of that agreement. That limit was 90 days. The 90 days is up this week. So the question we have before us tonight is whether or not to renew that for a period of time or not. I don't know that we've gotten a lot of takers. I mean, I don't really know that we have received many, people saying that they want to join this program with either Arcadia or Solstice. But, if you want to renew it for another 90 days or something less than that, I will reach out to them and tell them that I've been authorized by the board to renew it for a period of time. But if for some reason or other you don't want to renew it at all, we could do that too. Just to get it on the table, can I have a motion to renew the agreement with Arcadia and Solar Arcadia and Solstice for up to 90 days.
Motion to renew the contract with Arcadia and Solstice for 90 days.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, and can that be up to 90 days in case they want to do something less than that?
Yeah.
Okay. Any other discussion?
I'm not sure what that means. We had 90 days for them to procure
Right.
people within the township to sign up for the program.
Right.
Okay. Well, I have to say, I lived in the township, I never received anything from them.
No?
I don't
Really?
know,
Really?
and my neighbor did.
You didn't get a postcard or anything?
No, I got nothing.
Huh,
But my neighbor.
from either one of them?
And my neighbor said that they were actually signed up before this.
With
Arcadia.
With Arcadia?
Yes.
I don't know how they heard from Arcadia before, it might have been from some other
I'm not
source.
sure, it might be from another source, I don't know, but I never did receive
Huh,
anything. Had you, I mean, we all live in the township, had you received?
yeah, I got a card from each one of them.
Okay.
But I don't know how they,
But my neighbor got one.
Did you get
She
one?
called me. I didn't get one.
Jen?
No,
Pete?
I don't think I got one.
So I don't know who necessarily they're sending them to, but I guess you maybe have to ask them what their outreach is.
yeah. They told me they were sending out a certain number of postcards, but it really was a small percentage of the township residents at that point in time. During this one wave, they sent out like 30,000, but we know that's just a small fraction of our residents.
Oh, absolutely.
So I don't know if they plan to drop a number of groups of postcards. I don't really know. So I emailed them both earlier today, just to get a little bit more information, but did not hear back. So, but it was at sort of the last minute. Any other thoughts or comments?
I think it makes sense to renew it and
Okay.
see where it goes.
Okay.
But the person that I talked to, they said that they actually pay a little bit more, and they're happy to do that because it's renewable energy.
Yeah. Some people feel strongly about that. So, yeah.
But the idea, I think, was that it was going to be cost savings of at least 10%.
They do advertise that.
That was my understanding.
Yeah. Well, okay, we have a motion on the table to renew it for up to 90 days. Maybe a roll call?
Supervisor Diamond?
Yes?
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Maher?
I guess yes.
Okay, all right, that passes. Let's move on to discussion of website. Rich, can you maybe come up to the podium? I had hoped that Kelly could be here this evening because this is something that she worked on along with Rich and other members of our staff. And that is the wish list for the Maine Township website redesign. And you received the most recent wish list in your board packet. And I think this covers just about everything we might want. I'm just asking Rich to step up here in case we have any questions. But I think at this point in time, unless there's any questions, the time has come for us to send out a request for, I don't know if we need requests for bids. I think it's going to be less than 20,000, so.
Big request for proposals.
Yeah, request for proposals. Does anyone, if they're looking at this wish list, have any questions about it or anything that they think maybe wasn't included? It seems like a pretty comprehensive list to me, but I could be missing something. Okay, anyone else? All right, so I don't think we really need to take a vote on this, but I just wanted to give everyone a last look at the wish list before we send out the request for proposals to various firms, and hopefully at the next board meeting, we will have some proposals that we can share and vote on at that time. All right, okay. The next item was discussion of Metropolitan Waldorf Reclamation District project. I was hoping Ed could be here tonight to possibly address that, but he's very busy. Can we share his news?
We've got, I guess, a couple of conflicting reports. He told me that they were on their way to the hospital, so I assumed that his wife was in labor, but he said he texted you that it was a
It's
checkup.
a hospital checkup. And I said, is he coming? And he said, I don't know, I'll let you know.
So she may or may not be in labor, but they're at the hospital one way or the other, so.
Right.
Okay, all right. Well, okay.
Maybe it'll be at the restaurant afterwards.
So,
Countryside.
Yeah, we'll make that one, but
It's right.
all right, so we'll skip that for this evening and move on to new business. First item we have is appointment and vote of a FOIA vacancy. So as we know, we have 3 FOIA officers here. It's myself, trustee Kim Jones, and it used to be Aisha before she retired, but we need a new person. So Eva is going to be our new FOIA officer, and she's already sort of started her job, and you've taken the training, is that right?
Actually, I didn't register yet because they were asking for the title. So I'm just waiting because still Yesha she retired, but I cannot give the title yet. So I was waiting for this, and then today, if you're gonna vote, to nominate me as a FOIA officer, then tomorrow I'm gonna register and I'm gonna start. I have 30 days to do that.
Fine, I'm sure you'll be able to do that. Okay, so can I have a motion to appoint Eva as our new FOIA officer?
I will make a motion to appoint Eva as our new Freedom of Information Officer.
Second.
Okay, roll call.
Supervisor Diamond?
Yes?
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Maher?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
It's hard work, thank you.
It
It is
is.
hard.
It is. Just taking the training is hard work, so much less doing the work. Okay. All right, on to the next item, discussion and vote of personal and sick leave policy, amendment and a personnel policy manual. So there are a couple of handouts. Well, there's a stapled handout, but I think they're stapled together in opposite order of which we're the way we're looking at them. So first thing we're going to look at is according to the agenda, the personal and sick leave policy. So if you turn to the current version, where it says at the top, current versions of section 5.8 and 5.9. All right, so the purpose of these changes is to allow new employees to start accruing leave right away rather than having to wait a while before they accrue any leave at all, because oftentimes new employees will need a few days at the beginning of their tenure for one reason or another. So 5.8 will be changed. If you look at section 5.82, what we're deleting is the sentence that says new employees must successfully complete the probationary period prior to being awarded and eligible to use personal leave. So that's being taken out. Our manual does have a 6-month probationary period in it, but employees will not, under this change, have to wait until that's over before being awarded or being eligible to use any personnel leave. So if you look at the page that says amendments, under 5.8, the only change to 5.8 is in the first paragraph where it begins, new full-time employees shall accrue personal leave at a rate of 1/2 a day per month from the hiring date until the beginning of the next calendar year. Our
I'm not
employees,
finding that page, Karen, sorry.
I'm sorry, it's
Second to last.
it says amendment to the personnel policy manual.
Thanks.
Sorry, manual.
Gotcha, thank you.
All right. So essentially, employees will be earning leave at the rate of 1/2 a day per month from the beginning of their hiring date until the beginning of the next calendar year. And then, at the beginning of the calendar year, all full-time employees are awarded 6 days right away to be available for personal days throughout the rest of the year. So if someone's hired in the middle of the year, say June or July, they'll earn a little personal leave until the end of the year. So that's the purpose of that. There's a little bit, somewhat similar provision under sick leave. If you turn back to the current version of section 5.8 and 5.9, look at the section that says 5.9 sick leave. The sentence begins all full-time employees. We're going to be deleting the line that says who have successfully completed the probationary period. So new employees will not have to complete their 6-month probationary period before accruing sick leave. So they'll start accruing that sick leave right away. The new wording for section 5.9 is that all full-time employees shall accrue sick leave at the rate of half a day per month for a total of six days. That's a pretty good statement. Per year. So again, employees will start earning, at an incremental leave level, both personal leave and sick leave under these changes. So let's address that first. Can I have a motion to amend the personnel manual to adopt the new versions of section 5.8 and 5.9 as set forth in the proposed changes in front of us this evening?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Any further questions? Discussion?
Does it take effect immediately upon voting on it?
Well, that's a good question.
Some people will be in the bubble, right? Some people are probationary or whatever. Will it affect them?
I anticipated it to take effect right away, but did you want to make it something other than right away? Or?
No, I think that's the best idea, because there probably is somebody who's in that bubble, who's a probationary employee, who hasn't done the 6 months, but hasn't accrued anything yet, so.
Yeah, you're right. So effective as of, let's say, the beginning of next month. Should we say that? As of May 1st?
Sure. That's we're in April.
All right.
It's okay with me.
Any other questions?
I'm just curious, did this come from, is this like from the state or where?
No, this is just, we've had a number of new employees join us, or people who were thinking about joining us as full-time employees. And, there were some concerns expressed that, when I start, I won't have any leave at all for a while. And, everyone, even new employees, they need leave a day here or there, even during their first months.
And actually, the sick and everything does not have to still anything to do with COVID. Am I correct?
No, correct. This is not COVID leave. This is just regular old sick leave.
Correct.
Yes.
Yes.
And it wouldn't disadvantage any existing employees either, right, Karen? Nobody's competing with accumulating days or anything like that.
It wouldn't change as far as
It doesn't affect existing employees and
No.
their benefits. Okay,
Yeah.
And it has to be used up within the calendar year.
that's what I meant by that. You don't
For personal leave, yeah.
Okay,
Right.
all right.
Okay, make roll call?
Supervisor Diamond?
Yes?
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Maher?
Yes.
Okay, next one is discussion and vote on credit card policy, another amendment to the personnel policy manual. I understand there used to be a section regarding credit cards, but somehow or other it was taken out in this version. The proposal you see the current version of paragraph 3.7. It would add a paragraph at the bottom of the current section 3.7. So when you look at the next page, it says section 3.7, it would add those lines right there, beginning with Maine Township issues credit cards. So that language would be added to the bottom of the paragraphs in the existing section 3.7. Does that make sense? Okay. All right. To get it on the table, could I have a motion to amend section 3.7 as indicated in the documents in front of us now?
I will make a motion to amend section 3.7 of the personnel policy manual as indicated in this handout.
Second.
Okay. All right. Now, are there any questions or comments regarding this proposed change? Anything from over here? Okay.
No.
All right. All right. May we roll call then?
Supervisor Diamond?
Yes?
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Maher?
Yes.
Okay. All right, the next item on our agenda is discussion of summer festivals. And I'm very sorry that Asif could not be here tonight, both because he's not feeling well, but also because I was hoping he would address us regarding current plans for summer festivals, both in Indian and possible Pakistani festival as we've had in the past. So unfortunately, I don't have any update from him now, so I'm afraid I can't say anything else about that. So we'll move on. Under new business, I also want to add just one other piece of information. Again, we're not going to vote on it, so it doesn't matter that it's not on the agenda. And that's a small proposed change to the public relations agreement. Reverend, would you like to step up for just a minute to explain the change that you would like to propose, which, if the board seems agreeable to it, we can actually vote on that at our next meeting.
Okay, great. So when we put together our RFP, one thing that was really important to us was creating website content. So at the time we proposed 3 blog posts a month for the website. But now that we've been with you for 5 months, we realized with Rich posting some things and us posting other things that there's actually a pretty good amount of content being produced regularly for the website. We also anticipated 6 social media posts being a good number, but we seem to think that's a little short now. So we'd like to raise the number of posts we're providing on social media from 6 to 8 per month and lower the number of blog posts from 3 to 2. So it wouldn't change anything compensation-wise. It would just be a little more content for social media and a little less for the website.
Okay, all right. As long as Robert's here, does anyone have any questions about this proposed change?
Okay.
Anyone else?
Seems to make sense.
Yeah, I don't think it's a real big change. I think we'll vote on it at the next.
Okay.
Daniel, would you just sort of remind me to put that on the next month's agenda? Okay.
Seems like we're getting a little traction on at least the Facebook page. I've noticed quite a few likes. I've been sharing some stuff like the shredding event, and it seems like, people are picking it up a little bit.
Yeah, thank you for that. I'll give you a brief update on that. We're up to, I just checked it in my seat, 265 followers now on Facebook, which is up from 97, which we were at about 10 days ago before we started our Facebook ad campaign. And as far as Shred Day specifically, it was really nice to see both Des Plaines and Park Ridge, their official Facebook pages, share that event. So according to Facebook, it reached about 2,500 people. And I know Supervisor Donovan, you told me that it was a very big turnout, which we won't take all the credit for. It was 80 degrees outside. But the Journal also ran the announcement as well. So I think the Facebook Des Plaines and Park Ridge sharing it brought in some new likes and had more people see that Shred Day post. So that was good to see. And I'm glad you're seeing it on Facebook too. And on that note, I'd just like to add, some people in our ad have asked questions, and I've made sure to respond to all of those. So we had somebody ask about passport services, and I was able to elaborate on what we provide there. Somebody asked about property tax. I suggested they call Susan's office, and they said they did that on Facebook, so you might have got a call about senior exemptions this week. But it's good to see that interaction. People are asking questions, we're answering them directly through Facebook.
Well, that's great. We appreciate your work very much. You guys have been very attentive to us, and I think I get an email from you probably, if not every day, every other day, and we're sending material to you. I mean, I think we've been sending a lot of content too. So
yes, it's been good, I think, on both ways, and I know, like you were saying, there's the electric recycling event coming up soon, so we'll do a press release about that, and the Journal's been really good about running pretty much everything we've sent them. And I'll be at Susan's event this Thursday to take some photos, and we've done a lot of good promotion around that. And we launched our e-newsletter. I'd like to thank Rich for helping me with that. We've done 2 editions so far. We'll be doing it every month, and that's been really successful as well.
thank you. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thanks everybody.
Well, maybe see you next
Thanks.
month then. Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
Thanks, Robert.
thank you.
And Charlotte.
So let's move down to personnel now, discussion and possible vote of OEM director position. So as the board knows, this is something position we've been talking about for some time. Mr. Bennett, who's here tonight, resigned last fall or late summer. And since then, he has expressed opinions as to what type of qualifications the new person should have. We also had invited Lieutenant Brown, am I saying his name right?
Deputy Chief Brown.
Pardon?
Deputy Chief Brown.
Deputy Chief Brown, come to our meeting, and he also told us what qualities we should look for. And so we did that, and we solicited some applications and found someone we believe will be a very good candidate to take this position, who has some of the qualifications we were really looking for. And that is Mr. Francisco Rojas, who is here with us this evening. Thank you for coming in this evening, Mr. Rojas. The board members have his resume, received it by email, as did the elected officials. And I've had a chance to meet Mr. Rojas already, as has our administrator. Mr. Rojas, would you like to just for a minute step up to the podium, if you would, there, and just, I'm sorry to put you on the spot right now. You want to tell us just a little bit about yourself and some of the certifications that you have that are relevant to an Office of Emergency Management.
Sure, no problem. Well, good evening, everybody. My name is Francisco Rojas. I have 11 years experience in public safety and emergency management. Started my career in the Chicago Office of Emergency Management and Communication as a traffic management supervisor. Moved my way up into EMS, where I became a paramedic. Ended up running a garage for Elite Ambulance as an operations manager. Moved my way into hospital systems, where I was an EMS coordinator, and worked my way into FEMA, where I traveled the northern eastern district of Illinois for national disasters and responding to issues with COVID and fire-related things. Currently, I am a firefighter paramedic for the village of Riverside. Before taking that position at Riverside, I actually was the emergency management coordinator for Mokina, Illinois, where I coordinated with the local regional hospitals for, I believe they were Region 8 at the time, with Cook County Homeland Security and FEMA to respond to national disasters, mass casualty, mass incident, mass shooter, these nature, national disasters, fires, and anything that fell under that realm. And here I am today.
Okay, all right. Do the board members have any questions for Mr. Rojas? Or did you have a question?
Yeah,
I wasn't sure if that
it says you're a firefighter candidate, Francisco. Congratulations. Yes. That means you're employed by them, but you're not full-time yet.
It means that I'm still in my probationary period. Okay. After 1 year, you're no longer in the candidate status. You are a firefighter 1 or firefighter 2, depending on the engine that you're on, the certifications you have. So currently I have 4 more months and I'm out of my candidate status.
Okay, and what is BOF class?
BOF is the basic operator firefighter class that every firefighter in the state of Illinois has to attend.
Okay, thanks, Francisco. And is it your understanding there's any rules or regulations that would prohibit you from working here if once you become a full-time Riverside?
No, the village of Riverside is a paid-on-call department. So when something catches on fire, blows up, they send a match page out to somebody.
And they don't go there every day.
Yeah, so who can respond, and who can't.
Okay, great, yeah.
That's what I was going to ask. If you're working full-time, I know you do, was it 2 days on, 3 days off? And then
that's what that was like. That would be like the city of Chicago. They do 24 on, 48 off. Their EMS site does 24 on, 72 off. Riverside, it's basically whoever can respond to the call can respond, and if you can't, you just can't. As long as you maintain a 1 day a week in training on Wednesday nights for whatever training or continuing education they may have, you're fine. Otherwise, most of the firefighters there work for the city of Chicago. Most of them work for other villages as full-time employees.
Oh, okay. Okay, interesting. Thank you.
All right. Do our other officials have any questions?
No, sure. He seems like a qualified, strong candidate.
Yeah. I wish our highway commissioner could be here too. I know it's a position that he's very interested in too, so unfortunately he's not here this evening. But I just want to see if there's any other questions or comments any of the board members have, as long as we have Mr. Rojas with us.
I was going to say he was a process server for a while too, so you have a little bit of investigative skills, some medical background as well.
Yes, my grandmother actually owned the company, and she said when I graduated high school, it was either join the military or join her company. So I did a little bit of both. I actually joined her company and then decided to join the Navy after that, because it was kind of getting a little tiring taking orders from my grandma at home and then orders at work from her at the same time. I was like, there has to be some kind of line here, there has to be.
And you also, would that be taking calls from the police department for emergencies at
OEMC, yes. So for the city of Chicago, the Office of Emergency Management and Communication is the 911 dispatch center.
Right.
So basically what we did as TMA officers was when there was a mass incident, when there was a fire, parades, carnivals, anything of that sort, we would go and do traffic management. And if things like, say, God forbid, another terrorist attack were to happen downtown, OEMFC would be the main component to coordinate all of the emergency management situations, the traffic, the volunteers, things like that.
They take the original message, right?
Yes, they take the original 911 call, and then from there, we get dispersed from the station, we jump in our little cars, and we go where we gotta go.
How old were you when you did that?
I joined them when I was 18 years old.
Mr. Rossi, are you also qualified to teach CPR?
I am a BLS instructor, yes.
Okay, all right, because that's something that our staff, we want to have at least certain members of our staff be.
Yes, currently getting my ACLS certification to teach, so advanced cardiac life support.
It says U.S. Navy Reserve. Is that Reserve, United States Navy?
Yes, so I went into the United States Navy Reserves. I was in school at the time, so I didn't want to fully leave my education at the time, but I did want someone else to fund it. So I went into the Navy Reserve and was a hospital corpsman there.
All right, great.
Okay.
Couple
And
questions.
the minister.
My cousin wanted me to marry her, and she didn't want to go to the church and do it, so I was like, I'll go online, I'll pay the money, and I'll do it myself.
I see you carry a CCW license.
I do.
Do you find it necessary being here in the township to?
Most of my work is in Chicago,
Okay.
so that pretty much sums it up.
Okay.
But no, I actually required a CCW when I worked for my grandmother, since she was a private detective company. A lot of the places where we served process service was very sketchy areas of Chicago. And having her yell at me in the morning to get up and then yelling at work, I need her yelling at me for getting shot.
Okay. Okay. And then I see from 2011 to 2012, excuse me, 2010 to 2012, you were in the police academy also.
I was a candidate for Chicago Police, yes. The program was called CPFTA, which is in short, Chicago Police and Firefighter Training Academy. It was for high school juniors to seniors into your first year of college to see if you wanted to do that kind of field. And I realized quickly I didn't want to be in the police, so I transitioned more into the fire side where my EMS license came into play. No offense, Sheriff.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. Normally, department chiefs are chosen by myself and your administrator, but because there's been such interest in this position among the board members, I just want to ask the board if you would like to make a motion to approve us taking Mr. Rojas on as our new OEM director.
Yes, I would gladly like to make the motion to approve a recommendation for an OEM director for Mr. Rojas.
Okay, do I have a second?
We don't have a full board, so that might as well only comment.
What's that?
On discussion, we don't have a full board here.
No, but we do have a quorum.
Okay. The resume is very impressive.
Is that a second?
Yes, I would second that.
Okay, all right. Maybe a roll call?
Supervisor Diamond?
Yes.
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Maher?
Yes.
All right, welcome, Mr. Rojas. And what I would like is for Dana or Ruben to get in touch with you about just onboarding, okay?
Okay.
And we'll
Did
do
you
that.
establish pay or benefits or
Pardon?
position? Or pay and benefits establishment position?
The pay, it's the same as it was before, 10 hours a week. So that's what we'll be talking to Mr. Rose about. I mean, if that's something the board can address in the future, or if that's something Mr. Rose is interested in, but as of now, it's the same as it was in the past.
And you've already talked about that, right?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Okay.
We're good.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
How quickly can you get here? How quickly can you get here from Walton County?
I made it here in 17 minutes.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
that's what I was going to say. I'm not sure.
Now that you time it.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Well,
Congratulations, yeah.
Okay, all right, thank you. All right, so then we have just a few reports. National Night Out. Would you like to report on that, where we are with that?
Yeah, we had our first meeting, and I was glad to see Supervisor Diamond and Trustee Jones both attended. Certainly the whole board is welcome. Our next meeting, I think we set for the 23rd, if I'm not mistaken,
It's
right?
on our calendar.
oh, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, it was either the 16th or the 23rd.
It was a 23rd.
I didn't bring my other calendar.
It's the
but-
23rd.
23rd, yes, okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Alicia. So it will be 7 p.m. at Feldman Center. But we established our theme for this year, which again was, I didn't bring any of my notes today because I was running late. You got that too, Alicia?
I don't.
What did we do? It was,
Oh my gosh. what was
Light
it?
on.
Oh, yeah, we came up with a theme, what was
Yeah,
it?
lights on, crime off, turn lights
turn lights on to
shut
turn crime off.
Yes,
Yeah, something along
yes,
those lines.
something like that.
Yeah, I left all my notes in my office. But yeah, it was a good meeting. We had several people attend, so things are up and running, and we're working on getting the donation letter together for everybody. And again, we'd love to see you there on the 23rd. And it will be, the National Night Out will be on Tuesday, August 2nd at D Park, as it has in the past, starting at 6:30. That's all I've got.
Thank you, and good luck moving forward with that whole project.
Thank you.
Okay, the next item we have, it's not exactly an official report, well, maybe it's in my report, I don't know. The discussion of the township van usage. And I'm going to ask Mike, you out there, you want to just step up to the podium in case there's any questions. I don't know that there will be. But, you know, I noticed that one of our vans is not getting a lot of use. And we have 2 vans, plus the pickup truck. And I'm not talking about any of the OEM vehicles,
Right.
just our township vehicles. And we know the pickup truck gets a lot of use, and one of the vans gets pretty much use. I know the food pantry uses it to pick up things, and I'm not sure what else we use it for. But one of the vans really doesn't seem to be used much at all. I have talked with Rich about it is used during the summer to get kids to summer camp, but that's only about 6 days a summer, roughly. Is that right, Rich?
That's correct.
That we use that second van. So it just seems like using a vehicle 6 times in an entire year maybe is not real cost effective. We could rent an additional van those days. So what I've asked you to do, and you pulled for me, Mike, is the Blue Book value of both of these vans. And I'm not asking for a vote tonight, but I'm going to ask about, you know, thinking about maybe selling one of these vans, or maybe even selling it at the end of the summer after we use it for the camp, and then we really won't need it probably for another year. I think you've recommended, Mike, that we look at selling the 2004 Chevrolet, is that right?
Right. The
And
Ford,
you want to talk just a little bit about why you would make that recommendation
Sure.
between the 2 vans?
sure. The Ford vehicle is what I use the most whenever I'm out doing food pickups. It's more heavy duty. We actually built in there years ago. So like when you take the seats out of the vehicle, there's the buckles that get in the way. So we actually made like a board to go over it and custom fit and everything. It's just more of a heavy duty type of a vehicle that I think can take the weight more than what our Chevy van can, as that was just used more for passengers. So I would prefer, like I said, to keep the Ford van if we did do away with one, to have that for our food pickups, and then the Chevy is the one that usually does. The Chevy is the one that sits around more. So like if I do a run to Home Depot or something like that, I mean, I'll alternate vehicles just to run it, but that's pretty much it's pretty much what I use it for, though. That's about it, though. Mostly the Ford van, though, is what I'm using for food pickups.
All right. Does anyone have any questions for Mike about van usage or any of our other officials who may use it? I don't think anyone else uses it other than the camp in the summer.
What's the max on that?
Food
How many
pantry.
miles?
Yeah. That he brings.
What's that?
What's the max on the kids in the van that he brings and stuff?
You're talking about 2 in the front, and I think it was 10 kids, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's a 12 passenger, so
Yeah.
10 kids and 2 adults.
That's efficient, I mean, that's good for you, it works?
We have 20 kids in camp, so with the 2 vans with 10 kids, we're good.
How many miles is it?
Questions?
How many miles, Mike, does it show?
The Chevy had, it was, does it say it on the car? I think it was like 12,000.
19,250.
19,000, and then the Ford vehicle I looked today was 26,200.
Yeah.
Yeah, we used it a couple times, I know, going down to Springfield too, for the toy
Right.
convention.
The issue is to sell them, right? Possibly sell them, is that what you said?
One of them?
Just one, so possibly sell one of them, just because it doesn't seem like it gets that much use. I mean, we could use the remaining one to go to Springfield if we
Both
wanted.
are-
Right, yeah,
both are
exactly.
Walmart.
Yeah, both are remote.
So, I'm going to turn to our attorney here because my understanding is that we can't just sell something like normal people. We would have to actually publish a resolution or personal property sale notice in a newspaper and then accept bids on it? Is that
Not for
something-
personal property, that's
Not
for
for
real
personal-
property.
Oh.
We do have the ability to dispose of surplus personal property at any time, just by a vote.
Okay, and then do we have to take bids for it or can we?
We don't have to, we can,
Sell it to a dealer?
That's an option. We can also, there's a provision that allows us to sell it through an internet auctioneer type arrangement as well.
Okay, all right.
We sell it to one of our employees if we wanted to, or no? It's got to be a third party? There's no.
Cannot sell it. Selling it to an employee would be
Troublesome.
difficult.
Well, that's why I asked that. It might be troublesome. Okay.
All right, so we probably will revisit this. When is the camp over? I mean, when would we no longer need it for the camp purposes, Reg?
This year, our camp will be over towards the end of July, about the third week of July.
Okay, all right. So perhaps we could vote on this at the next meeting.
Okay.
You know, when everyone's here.
When everyone's here,
Hopefully.
okay.
Hopefully. Okay, all right.
Hopefully, that's right. Hopefully.
Yeah, right, right.
Thanks,
Okay.
Mike.
Thank you. So I want to ask if there are any other announcements from any of the board members or other elected officials.
Just neighborhood watch. Extended invitation to everyone, all the residents, to attend our neighborhood watch meeting, which is it next Wednesday, is it the 5th?
Yes, 7 o'clock.
May 5th at 7 o'clock.
Oh, wait, is that a Wednesday or Thursday?
Wednesday.
Okay, Wednesday, I think it's the 4th.
4th. Okay.
6. Wait,
4th. Oh, wait. What is it?
I don't have it in front of me.
It's
The
the
4th is a
4th.
Wednesday.
It's the 4th.
It's on a calendar.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's at 7 p.m., so if you have any concerns or questions, or you just want to see what's going on in the neighborhood, please join us.
I just wanted to let everybody know too that for the township officials of Cook County, the clerk's division, Maine Township, our office is going to be hosting the divisional meeting, the last one for the year, Thursday, May 5th at Cafe Vici on the Milwaukee Road there. So if anybody would like to attend, you're certainly more than welcome. I'll blast out a quick invitation to everybody on that tomorrow. But,
We don't have to be a clerk for that?
Nope, you don't have to be a clerk to go. We'll let you in.
So as I understand that there's various townships of Cook County organization. I just went to a meeting of the supervisors. You're apparently active in the clerk's one.
Correct.
And so I presume you take turns hosting?
We take turns, yeah, hosting, you know,
This is your
sometimes
turn.
it's some of the townships down south and then some of the ones up north do it, so.
Okay.
Yeah, this is, they were looking for somebody to host the May meeting, so I stepped in and said we would be happy to do it. So
Okay.
I'll get an invitation out to everybody on that tomorrow.
Okay,
Thank
great, great, thanks. And Susan, I know your big event coming up is on Thursday. Did you want to just say a few more words about that? I think we know about it pretty much, but just to remind people about that?
We're still getting calls on it. It's been crazy nonstop. And we're at the point now where we can't even take Zoom. People that want to join for the Zoom, only because the Cook County clerk sends it out and sends out the invitation to join Zoom. And they were supposed to do it by tomorrow. And getting back to them, I mean, Seville is filled. And thanks to Marie and her staff for calling people to make sure that they were indeed going to attend, because we had a waiting list of people that still wanted to attend this property after death workshop So our Zoom have over 200 people, and I think that we're even at capacity with our meeting at Seville. And we have some public officials that are going to be there, including our supervisor and our trustee. And also we'll have Senator Laura Murphy there, and Representative Marty Moylan, and Andrew Bichkowski from Merit Displays. But it'll be a long meeting because there's a lot of questions, and thank you to Still for letting us use their facility. And of course, like I said, the mainstreamers and my staff working hard. We have people that call up and don't remember if they did join, so we have to research that for them. So yeah, that'll be good. Can I just get my report now to be done?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. We're done now with our appeals for the Board of Review. They're closing today. The Board of Review sent out a mass email to everybody in Maine Township at 11 a.m. saying that they were closing, and what that meant was that we were inundated with people calling at the last minute. And that caused the Board of Review's site to go down on numerous occasions, and we couldn't process their appeals. Needless to say, staff was working late to try and accommodate our residents. It was a shame that Board of Review couldn't have done that a little bit, prior to today, especially they should have known that their computer system would just crash. So that was a situation, but now we've gotten through it, and we've had people calling at 5, and we said, it's up to them if they want to proceed with doing an appeal, and they had up to 12 o'clock tonight to do it. I was also at a Board of Review reach out at Des Plaines Library a couple days ago, which was a little bit late on their part, and I was also at a Zoom meeting that they had for a reach out on the Board of Review. We have a new commissioner because it's been redistricted. That's Michael Carbonacci, and we had Tammy Went prior. So now they redistricted from the census or whatever. So we have a new commissioner with that. So he has a healthy staff. There were 6 staff members at the DP Des Plaines Library that night. Actually, he was good. So I think that's about all we have. But now my staff, and we're still working on everything that we've done for the Board of Review. We have to make sure that it does indeed get processed. So we're going to be on top of that. And but I think that they can take a little bit of a breath, slight breath. And that's my report. Thank you.
Okay. All right, thank you. Anything else from our elected officials or health officials?
So the question, where does recycle day on May 11th?
It's
We
here,
recycle
in the parking lot.
This parking lot.
Right, we're going to have a truck. And Alicia sent them an email, and I sent them an email too, saying we want a big truck this time.
Yeah.
Because last time, we ran out of space, and people were upset. And we had a huge turnout on Saturday for the paper shredding. Maybe you heard, but we had 346 cars. And Mike counted them, actually.
I was at one of the shredding cars today. Yeah, it was
So, if we get a turnout, anything like that, we're really.
Okay, May 11th, Karen.
May 11th.
It's computers and.
And it's also drug
TVs.
take back, so there's that too.
Old TVs or?
One TV.
Okay. One TV. Okay. I'll find out about that.
And if you're writing things on your calendar, the Secretary of State mobile unit is going to be here, along with a representative from the Illinois Treasurer's iCash program on June 15th. And then we've rescheduled the North Suburban Legal Aid Society presentation on June 23rd. And we don't have any date for it in particular, but we're hopefully going to, if it warms up a little bit, trying to start our gardens along the north wall, sorry, the south wall of this building again. So we're going to be looking into that also. Just in terms of some of the things that have happened over the past month, of course, we had our annual meeting on the 12th. We had retirement parties on the 8th, which were sad to see our people go, but also happy for them. We had some visitors here from Maine Township who came to see our food pantry, just as we had walked around and tried to see some other food pantries. So they came to visit. I went to visit one of the peer jury programs. Jim, I know you went to one of them once.
Yes.
I was anxious to see what that looks like, and I got a chance to do that this past year. I spoke at a Ukrainian rally. Thank you, Marie, for putting me in touch with the organizer of that rally. There was an incredible turnout there, and it was just a very moving event. And that was at St. Joseph the Betrothed on Cumberland. Yeah. And also spoke at a Niles Chamber of Commerce meeting, telling them a little bit more about us and showing the video. Actually, that saved me a lot of work. I don't have to really say anything. I just push the button, show the video, and that's it. You know. But tells you everything you need to know, really. So it's been a pretty active month. One other thing coming up I wanted to mention is July 4th. Some of us marched in a 4th of July parade last year. This year we've gotten invitations from both Niles and Des Plaines. I don't think Des Plaines did a parade last year. I think it was just
No, yeah, they haven't the last 2 years.
So, you can mark that on your calendar. I don't need, a commitment tonight, but if you want to march in one or the other, I think they're at the same time, so I think you have to pick one. So, just to let you know.
What they've done in the past is they'll do the Niles one kicks off. They usually will put us at the front of that one, and then people race over and we're towards the back of the Des Plaines one.
Oh, is that right?
So usually you can get there in time.
Usually the OEM person drives it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
It's right, he fills the truck with candy. and
I would
then
call it a jog, July 4th jog.
He drives us from Niles
Jogging.
to Des Plaines and then brings us back.
So,
He's nice.
yeah, I think
John, are you going to come to that and watch me jog?
What's that?
Last
I think
time?
Des Plaines said no throwing things
One
from the
year.
truck.
Did they really?
Remember that?
I have to talk to him
Oh,
about
yeah,
that.
kids are gonna be.
I know, they're not going to
Be all right on the
But
4th of July.
people walking with buckets and not on the truck.
Okay.
Wear comfortable
Okay.
clothing.
All right.
In that parade.
What time does the electronic?
Got a good workout
start?
today.
It's
9 o'clock, they're recycling, I think, pretty sure.
Okay.
Get there early,
Yeah.
get the spot, get your stuff on the truck. I think it's 9 o'clock, sure. So, I think that is all I have for this evening. Anyone else have anything they want to mention? Okay. All right, can I have a motion to adjourn then?
Let's go adjourn.
Second.
Okay. Roll call.
Supervisor Diamond?
Yes.
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Mott?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you all for attending.
Thank you.
And